The Blue Comet is a piece of Lionel history. Originally coming out in 1935, I wanted to get my hands on one myself, and while that one's a little bit out of my reach, I figured the 2020 Lionel Legacy one was a little bit of a better bet. The box it comes in is typical for a modern Lionel set, looking almost identical to the Pennsylvania Flyer one that I received a couple weeks ago. This isn't necessarily a problem, but being such an iconic train set, you'd think they would do something a little bit more special with it. That being said though, the presentation is still beautiful and had me, and I'm sure anybody else who has the set, aching to open it the first chance they got. The box opens up to the locomotive, tinder, the controller for both, the wall output pack, as well as the smoke fluid you're going to need for the engine. The locomotive itself is painted a royal blue with yellow accents, and the chassis underneath is painted black. The locomotive is numbered 831 and comes with a crew inside of the cab, which is a big thumbs up from me. The only issues I found for the locomotive was the fact that there's this strange black screw that sits on top of the boiler, as well as on the bottom, as the chuff and the smoke switches are not labeled. The tinder is painted the same way, with beautiful molded details as well as a really nice coal load on the top. The coaches follow the same colorway as the locomotive, as well as interior lighting, however they aren't free of their issues. Most notably would be the fact that the people are actually prints on the window, but that's not too big of a deal honestly. Besides that, each coach is molded almost perfectly, even featuring gangways between them. Unlike the other two, the second coach is lighted in two ways, as this one features a figure that holds up a red lamp out of the outside of the coach. A fun and odd, but very attractive detail, and I'm a really big fan of this. The last, or I guess first coach, is the sleeper coach, which actually features a larger sleeping compartment as well as a larger gangway which you could fit with figures if you so desired to. All that aside though, the question still remains, how does this engine work, and how does he do when he's running? And well, for that, we'll take him to the layout. The locomotive features a very nice headlight as well as idling sounds for when it's sitting and not moving. However, these are not the only sounds the Blue Comet produces, as there is also a horn, voices from the conductor, and the bell. As stated before, each coach comes with its own interior lighting, and the figure who holds the red lamp actually flickers the red lamp when the train is idle. Again, the Blue Comet also smokes, but I'm not going to be the one to test this feature out, as I'm too scared I'm going to mess up my engines in doing so. With that, all that was left was to run the engine and see how he performed. Without exaggeration, this has to be the smoothest and best running Lionel locomotive I've had the chance to operate myself, so much so that I decided to up the ante with an MTH depressed flat car, even though it doesn't match the aesthetic of the line or engine at all. Even with the added weight, the engine didn't struggle or jump the track or have any issues at all. This is the kind of set that I would recommend to everybody, whether you're new into the hobby or an experienced railroading veteran, just for the simple fact that it's such an eye-catcher and there's something for everybody to appreciate and love every time it goes by. Whether it's the overall royal blue color, the lighting it has, the sounds it makes, there's something for everybody to appreciate and fall in love with in this set. The LionChief Blue Comet set is an easy 9 out of 10 from me.